And good evening and welcome to Under the Hood. It is Monday, October 16th. I'm Eli Long. Apologize for the late start, technical problems. And today with me we have Happy and making his 2017 it is Rock the Barn from his new dwelling still in New Jersey. So we have a lot to cover. We're going to get started. Lots of stuff going on. Today we're going to cover the NFL and how much parity there is and how I still can't understand it. The our area doing well, although they are on the ropes in the American League Championship Series. And then some college football. I'm supposed to be joining, also having some technical problems. If he's able to join us, that'll be great. He'll join us later in the broadcast, and if not, we will carry on with college football nonetheless. Let's start with the NFL because I know lots of surprises in the New York markets. The first one in the early game, the New York about all they could handle, and were they snubbed? That's the question. It seemed to all viewers with working eyes, they were snubbed at least of a touchdown. If that would have necessarily, would they have tied it up? We don't know for sure, but definitely offensive. And Jenkins, really weird ruling by Tony Corrente and the officiating crew, but Rock the Barn, you are a loyal gangreener. I would like on how
First off, they did choke. I mean, they were up 14-0. So I mean, like Eli said, who knows what would have happened? But I'm honestly so mad about that play. Like, I just don't understand how he fell out of bounds and stuff. But like, if you look at it, it looks like he switched arms and he has the ball in his hand as he's going out of bounds. In his hand. The ruling said, like, I can understand, like, the call. It's such a weird rule, though. Like, it's a horrible rule in the NFL. I do not think after this week they should keep it. They have to get rid of it, at least after this year, hopefully. Hopefully this week. But, like, I'd view it this way. If that was Rob Gronkowski, they would have not overturned it. It would have been a touchdown. That's my view.
Any choppy connections throughout the broadcast. Weird weather in the New York area. I guess so. Weird weather in the. Matt is with us. Matt is with us visually. We'll see if he's with us. When it comes to the audio part. Let's see, Matt. Are you with us? Matt is with us just visually.
Just
moment. Unfortunately, technical problems abound on this this mid-October Monday evening. Happy.
Hi.
One of the most short-handed teams and one of the few winless teams left going into last night a while, going against a 3-1 Broncos team with a ferocious defense off of a bye, looking like. And what do they do? Now they're a 13.5 point underdog, and they go in there and they manage them. That has taken place in the NFL through 6 weeks, but this is the most mind-boggling in them all. One, how the Giants are 1-5. Two, how they get their first win like this, where Eli Manning has us three as his top 3 receivers, and he goes and plays the best defense in the league. And what happens? I am dumbfounded. In this case, but utterly confused by what happened last night and just what has been happening over the first 6 weeks. It is by this time, week 4 down. It's not the case this year. I have absolutely no idea what is going on in this league this year. The Steelers are they going to be back? Is Martavis Bryant even going to be back in Pittsburgh in a week or two? What's going on there? Is this the beginning of the formula to be? Well, Baltimore, they stink. Like, really, they're 3-3, but they should be like 2-4, 1-5. They were
Perks of playing
proud. They were beaten by the Bears. Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears. Come on.
Okay.
Like, seriously, this was a team that have fallen off the face of the earth. The Bears really aren't good. And let's Fins are somehow 3-2 after they suck. Like really, they were really awful for a couple. As a championship contender, starts off 3-0, and now 2 losses, both at home against the Bills and the Dolphins. What is going on? It just doesn't make sense.
You know
the
what?
Patriots barely survived the Jets. Now, everyone had perceived that they thought they would be, because I think they're just a little worse than mediocre, and the Patriots haven't been that good yet, but I come the double-digit weeks or towards the latter quarter of the season, the usual suspects will be there at the really see how this plays out. It's very interesting. I don't know. I want to get your guys' thoughts on what you made of the season so far. But if you want to, I was arguing, or at least we were debating in a group last night. What actually 5 teams in the NFL? The Chiefs have to be in the discussion. They were just it's their first loss, whatever. The Packers would have been if not for Aaron Rodgers going down with the season-ending yesterday. That pretty much deals the Packers a blow to their season. So,
I have a suggestion.
I want to get you.
Okay.
The Rams. I would have to put at this point in time, the Rams in the top 5 teams.
All right. There's a team. I hate to say this. It might be the Eagles. I mean, just based on the team that's playing the best. I think they've been the most consistent team in the past number of weeks when we've seen other teams like the Falcons, like the Patriots, Steelers. They've been falling off. But the Eagles, their offense has just been on fire. They have, even with Darren Sproles out, Aaron Blunt's just being a power force up the middle. You got these receivers. Algor is also coming out of nowhere. And, of course, they have the best tight end just based on numbers in Zach Ertz. And, of course, at the helm, Carson Wentz. So I think in the defense it's been shaky at times, but I think they've held the fort and they've given enough to get them 5 wins. So I think you have to look at the Eagles at the top of the consideration for top team in the league.
I agree, Happy, as much as it pains me to say. At the moment. And who do you trust? You can put trust in Tom Brady, in that usual suspects that still could be there at the end of the season. But really, at this point, who to trust? And Jared Goff. Who else? Like, I'm looking for an answer here. Now, you can trust the moment. You can trust the Eagles, and you actually can trust the Rams. Can you trust the Seahawks? Not yet. You can't trust the Broncos after last night. You can't trust the Raiders, who are back to the dumpster after Derek Carr went out for a week. They lost. You say, okay, E.J. Manuel's a quarterback. Sure, it's okay to lose to the Ravens, but they lost by 13 at home, and now you see how bad the Ravens are. Derek Carr comes back. And Chargers, what is going on? You can't trust the Raiders, and we thought we might be able to this year. So the AFC West, still a very highly. Can you trust Dallas? They're 2-3, and they were on a bye this week. What is going on there in Dallas? Washington, they are they 3-2? Either way, they beat the Niners by the skin of their teeth, and they really didn't
Beathard at
need
quarterback.
to. After starting off, did they start off 3-0, or was it the 2-1, and they haven't really been able to recover? No, they nearly staged a miraculous comeback. Nothing makes sense. Long story short, nothing makes sense. Happy, before we check back in with you, we'd like to deal with Matt.
No comment.
Hello, Matt.
One moment.
One of those days.
Yeah.
All right, Happy, go ahead.
I think you got to bring the Vikings into this conversation. Shout out to Gannon. But you have to. I mean, if they could find a stable quarterback situation, they could get their quarterback situation stabilized. I think even with Dalvin Cook out, I mean, McKinnon has stepped up. And I think the receivers, Thielen, stepped up, Diggs. And, of course, they have one of the best defenses in the league. So I think you got to definitely throw the Vikings into consideration.
Interesting that you mentioned that, because Teddy physically unable to perform list. So I don't know if he'll be eligible to start. I may see game action, which would be very interesting, especially if Sam Bradford is not able to go. So you go from Teddy Bradford's feet kind of locked in Minnesota. Bradford now goes down with this very unknown knee injury, which severe. Charter's coming back, and he might just, by virtue, retake the reins of this team and be the franchise quarterback that he was for foreseeable, seeing the way things are shaping out in Minnesota, and they've been able to keep things afloat. So let's see what happens there. Any last thoughts on the NFL weekly ball, which I know we are all invested in one way or another? Rock the barn.
It's a sad thing to say, but I am Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Right. It's a sad thing to say, but I'm officially hopping off the Buccaneers bandwagon.
All sad.
And I'm moving
Houston
to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints.
But then again, look at their 2 wins. Who have they come against? Well, one, they were both at home.
Yes.
Their record is what? 3-9. So at this point, there is no reason to believe in the Buccaneers.
Yes.
I
have my bandwagon jump
pick and brought them back, but that would have been something that we really would have focused on.
My bandwagon jump is Houston. Love Watson. Well, he's been perfect. He has the most touchdown throws in the league, and they have some. I mean, they don't really have a run game, but they have the receivers. Him and Will Fuller just have this connection. They already have 5. I think it's 5 now. Through 3 weeks, Fuller's been active. And even without – the problem is with the defense is can they move on without J.J. Watt? And they really didn't last year. That's the big question with them.
Amazing. Sorry, Happy, you keep cutting in and out, so I'm trying to figure out exactly when.
But yeah, Houston. Go off of that.
Kind of one. Tom Savage was the starter of this team, and how awful they looked. And even the injuries they sustained. J.J. Watt out for the season. Whitney Mercer.
Oh, yeah, for him.
The defensive side of the ball. And you look at them, they're still holding up defensively, but this offense, it's a 3-3 team. Feels intued just because it almost seems like they're playing with a bit of house money. And Deshaun Watson has been such a find, at least this early, come a year or two, but this early, this good. I said if this team, again, we'll see if they can hold afloat with the injuries, championship ready outside of their quarterback situation, which at the time was unknown. We'll see if Deshaun Watson can lead this team to the promised land. This AFC South, what?
Yes.
And Tennessee. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go base.
That's all I have.
Well, keep leads for the favorites in those series. LA on a walk-off, 2-0. Walk-off. That either the Yankees or the Cubs or both can come back. The Yankees did it against Cleveland in a more back to the wall situation. Here off the barn, let's start with you.
I think tonight the Yankees definitely can win. I think they have the team to make a comeback. But Houston is obviously better than Cleveland was, as it's been playing. And it's been a defensive game. So super low scoring. Both pitching teams and the defense have been really great. I think it's questionable. The home run that Correa hit to make the Houston go up 1-0 the other day. It was questionable with the fan reaching out. He doesn't get that. The Yankees have the possibility of winning. There is no walk-off. It's just a tied 1-1 game. So, I mean, there's a possibility. I think they're going to win tonight, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
You happy?
I mean, I don't think they have. I mean, I think they win tonight. I think Sabathia is coming off one of his best starts in the past couple years in that playoff Game 5 against the Indians. But I just don't see them coming to the series. I just think the Astros have too much firepower, and I just don't think they could get to a Verlander or a Keuchel one more time each if it comes down to having to face those two pitchers.
Yeah, Keuchel has owned the Yankees in his career, and
Verlander was unexpected.
With the Tigers, then comes into Houston. He has been lights out ever since he came over, and the Yankees have struggled. Mm-hmm. The pitching has not been a huge issue. It was up and down against Cleveland, but ultimately got the job done. And pitching so far has been fantastic versus giving up, 4 runs in 2 games. But let's just take a minute to think about where the Yankees the playoffs ahead of schedule. They won a wild card game. Nice. They beat Cleveland, a team with the longest winning streak in MLB, one of the presumed favorites for this World Series after getting there and losing in a Game 7 last year. They came back from a 2-0 deficit. Game 5 on the road. And here they are playing a very tough Astros team. Let's just give props. Even if the Yankees don't win win a game or at least one game, because I had tickets to Game 5 and I would really like to be able to go to that after I gave up my tickets to the wild card game because I was too busy and devoted to the Yankees could win one game, preferably tonight, so that they don't have to come back from 3-0. That would be appreciated. Please and thank you. Year for the Yankees, and an interesting situation with Joe Girardi. Should they have not won the Cleveland series, or at least they had not gotten into a Game 5, now you're looking at this team like, whoa, it's got pieces there from the next 5+ years. The future is bright, and Joe Girardi now on the other side of the web security is much more safer than it was just about like a week and a half ago. So very interesting the way that things would have schedule year. All right. The Dodgers are actually not choking yet. The Nationals, but the Dodgers have not choked yet. They swept the Diamondbacks, who a lot of people thought could give the Dodgers a tough time. It's like, is anyone going to stop them? Happy.
No, and here's why. I just don't think – I didn't think there was any team in the National League that really has the capabilities to beat this Dodger team in a 4-game series. Just everything about their team from pitching, fielding, batting, they're just great in every facet. And if they could get past the Diamondbacks, I thought the Diamondbacks would actually give them the most trouble. I thought they could easily get through the Cubs, who struggled this year, and the Nationals, who are also known for their playoff choking. So one of those teams would have had to choke. But I just think the Dodgers, just so many problems with the Cubs this year, along with, Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger, even Puig's coming out, and Justin Turner, who, it breaks my heart every time I see him succeed because I know he was sitting on that Mets bench for a couple of years. But, Yeah, I just don't think anyone can stop the Dodgers.
Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Rock the barn.
Well, you said the Dodgers have not choked yet.
They haven't.
And I see it coming. All right, two
You know
games
what? I
up.
wouldn't be surprised if they did.
The Cubs, the past couple years have been a great playoff team. They came back against the Indians 3-0. I can see it happening again. It's definitely a possibility. And the Dodgers, great team this year, very inconsistent. They were here at one point, and then they lost 10 straight. So it's very easily could happen.
Here's my thing with the Cubs, though. What the big piece with the Cubs last year was Aroldis Chapman. Just having him in that bullpen as a safe, as a little safe,
Safety
net. Yeah. Was such a key factor for them throughout that season. And once he was gone, you could tell the bullpen kind of has been shaky. It was shaky in the Dodger series. It was shaky even in the series before with the Nationals. It's just that they do not have the bullpen depth that the other teams have, and I just don't think they could really hold on, and especially now down 2-0. And the Cubs pitching staff is really starting to deplete itself, coming into a much fresher Dodgers staff.
Well, we will see how this plays out. And interesting, both games will be played at 5 p.m. in New York. So interesting decision there. You think if you would have both series were being played on the same day, that they would put the day game at Wrigley. In this case, they have not. That is an interesting decision. Major League Baseball. Are we down to talk college football? If not, we will save that for next week. I want to get your guys' thoughts on
big week.
You do?
I'll talk it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, just a lot of upsets.
Yeah.
Huge top 10 shake-up weekend.
Yeah, I mean, where do you even start? Clemson losing, although I don't think this it won't cripple them because they did lose to Pitt last year. It's a very similar situation to losing to a lower ACC team. So I don't think that hurts Clemson. I think Washington, though, I think that's going to be a tough one because they still got to play Washington State, and they got to play a Pac-12 championship game. So I think that loss to Arizona State was a big loss. What?
No one from the Pac-12 is getting in. What we've known. USC,
yes,
I don't see them getting.
They're all going to beat each other up. I think they all beat each other
getting in. They would have what they would have had to do was they would have had to gone undefeated into those head-to-head matchups. Once
all three lose.
Combination Washington State. They did not. They're all going to come into their matchups with one another, or with
they're all going to beat each other.
Matchups. They just keep the schedule. They are not going to. No Pac-12 team is getting in this year, which then opens the door up for doesn't Oklahoma still have a shot to get in?
Oklahoma needs to win through then.
I'm a vote now, but who knows? We'll see. Is this your TCU gets into the playoffs after they were possibly snubbed the first
I think
year?
They were snubbed, but who knows? I think Rock the Barn wants to say something.
If USC loses to Notre Dame this weekend, and Notre Dame wins the rest of the game, they win the rest of their games, and they don't make it to the playoffs, they're being snubbed. They're already 13th.
Well,
they were unranked at the beginning. They were unranked at the beginning of the year.
I think
they're moving up the standings like that. They lost to Georgia in an insanely close game. And if they beat USC this weekend, I could easily see them running up to the top 4.
Depends. There's so much circumstances that come in, and that independent will always hurt them. Not having a bowl victor or not having a conference championship to boost their resume.
I'm calling it now. They win this weekend, and
what
was that?
As much I understand that in the Notre Dame faithful around loves Notre Dame. I'm really not sure this team is that good. I think they're a bit overrated.
That too.
And that's essentially a very good loss. But have they really impressed enough to be in the top 10? The only reason they would be in the top 10 is because other teams fell, not because they have played their way
You don't think if they
into the
beat
top 10.
USC,
Essentially,
they don't deserve to be in the top
they've
10?
slid into the top 10 by virtue of other teams
What?
underperforming.
All right,
But
yes,
even
but
a win
you
against
don't.
USC, still, this is not the USC of the year that we thought they would be. It would not be the same resume builder. It'd be a solid win, don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be the resume builder that it would. So they have left on their schedule.
How many games after this weekend? I think 5.
No, who?
Oh, I think they've got. I think they're all
I
ranked.
got you. They got some good games coming. They have USC and Wake Forest. They have NC State, who is ranked. Miami, the Navy, who is borderline ranked every week, and Stanford.
There is potential because it's a solid strength of skill. No game stands out as like, wow, that would be a resume solidifier. They're all there are games on there that are real solidifiers. We'll have to see. I still think
think, you know what? If Miami stays undefeated and Notre Dame happens to be an undefeated Miami team, I mean, I think that'd be fine for the resume. I don't know if
you don't think even this weekend, if Notre Dame wins, you don't think they're at least ranked 10th?
Oh, they'll be top 10, I think. I'm playing against USC. It's tough, though.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough from USC to make me think that this is really
they've struggled.
A team in there. I don't think they are. Also, keep in mind, I think Miami is overrated as well. They barely beat. I understand it's a rivalry game and they've had trouble. Not a very good team. Like, really, since they lost DeAndre Francois in that opening game against Alabama, it has been all downhill for the team. And Georgia Tech is a tough test, don't get me wrong, but it's also at home. And Georgia Tech lost to Tennessee, and let me tell you, no, Tennessee is.
And the thing with Miami is they don't have Walton anymore. He is out for the year with the injury, so it's a big key piece for Miami.
The madness might hit Miami. We'll see.
I think what I love to see is when Michigan, again, every year they're supposed to be this great team. I love to watch them lose like that. It's just so much fun.
Who is?
Michigan.
Oh. Well, yeah, Michigan underperforming. Now they've got a lot of very young talent, so they'll be back next year.
Yes.
And this is not like just salvage it. And they've got a lot of big games coming up. You've got Ohio State, you've got Penn State, you've got Wisconsin. They're just really not looking like they're going to be able to take advantage of all that right now. Interesting to see this now. Ohio State's creeping back into the mix. They've got big games coming up too. Everyone wrote them off after. And not that Oklahoma's loss actually helps them, because Oklahoma losing to Iowa State doesn't help Ohio State. They
rest in peace, Eli. I think. Okay.
State is soon. Things become interesting. So as we get into
everything,
the second half of the college football season. I know we're the technology is lagging a little bit. Any last thoughts before we sign off tonight?
You know what? I think with the Oklahoma, you brought up the loss. I think that's what puts Oklahoma State above them, is their losses to that very good TCU team. So, they're Oklahoma compared to Oklahoma's loss to Iowa State.
I just want to see Alabama lose. It's so annoying.
It's really everyone against Alabama. I mean,
their schedule is just so easy.
Well, I mean that half of the SEC is. I mean, the SEC is on a down loop on its own when you think about it. I mean, outside of Alabama and Georgia, I'm not impressed with any other team in the SEC. Usually, there's a couple others, but that's it.
I I must cut out for the night, and with that, we will end
Yes.
our discussion and our technical difficulties for the night. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If not, maybe if not next Monday, maybe later in the week or the Monday after. Regardless, have a great night, and we will see you sometime soon.
All right.